Welcome to the Kelly and Erinn Show. We're so glad you're here.
We're a mother-daughter duo and founders of Kelly's Bake Shop. We built a nationally recognized brand, faced unimaginable challenges, and have chosen to rise again and again, all in the pursuit of a life aligned with truth, freedom, and love.
Each week, we're sharing real, unfiltered conversations about entrepreneurship, healing, and expanding through personal growth, and choosing joy, even when life gets tough.
This is your invitation to come home to yourself. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of the Kelly and Erinn Show. We're so honored and so happy that you're here with us today, because today is going to be a little bit more of a heavy episode. There's a lot of things that we've been moving through these last 90 days as business owners, as mom and daughter, as all of the things. And I think it's pretty well safe to say that on March 3rd of 2025, our world changed forever. We were given some news that, pretty much rocked our world from the moment we received this email. So, Mom, let's jump on into it.
Even hearing you do this intro is choking me up. So I guess it's still very much alive within us of this emotion. Yeah, March the 3rd of 2025, we received an email from the developer landlord of Kelly's Bake Shop in Burlington that we were being given 60 days to vacate the premises. And it was around 2:00 in the afternoon.
2:22 it came in, actually.
Came through at 2:22. That's right. Isn't that wild? And you called me and I hadn't read it yet. And you were with Michael and you were both, processing it, and called me. And I just didn't even believe it. I mean, my life shut off at that moment. I was supposed to do a call with our accountant at 4:00 that day. Everything just fell off my plate. I didn't even know I was even alive any longer. And I just said, like, maybe we just need to get together. Maybe you even offered it, was to get together, and you came over here to my place and just outside my window here. And we went out in the snow and we decided to toboggan down my back hill. We have videos of that, and just to shake it off and find a parcel of us, like a portion of our soul, to laugh. Because once you laugh, you have this ability to process things differently and change your perspective on what's coming to you. And that's what I've learned very much over this last 13 years of having Kelly's Bake Shop, is about changing perspectives and to find how to get to the other side of this. So anyways, it was like an instant hit of someone's just died. Like, this grief started to go through me, the fear, all the levels of everything. It was just reliving then the 13 years of the bake shop, and what was that going to look like? How were we going to tell the staff? How are we going to tell the customers? It was like, and how do you do all this in 60 days and pack up like 3,600 square feet and move your production facility that actually produces for Oakville as well? And how do you do it all? Like, it was like, the pressure on our chest, and we went, what are we going to do? It was crazy.
When we were, sorry.
It's okay. But we never really expected this information to come to us on March the 3rd. It caught us so hugely by surprise, because just in the fall, we were under the impression and with the understanding from several people, several sources, that said that the developer had no intention of building because there was no money in it for him. Financially, they were not able to make it work. And even by being given extra stories to build and all the things that they needed, it wasn't going to happen. So we breathed a sigh of relief in the fall. But this caught us completely off guard, completely. What were you going to say?
Yeah, that it's just, I think it's important to also share with everyone that our building at 401 Brant Street, where Kelly's Bake Shop was housed there, has been owned by a developer for the last 7 or 8 years, since 2018. So since that point, we had actually been very much fighting the whole intensification and development of downtown Burlington as a whole. Because for those of you that are local to the GTA, you can see that Burlington is just high rise after high rise and condo building after condo building. And it's really stripping away this quaintness and this charm of this downtown core. And it's really quite sad to see, because how many families and, people are going to come strolling in the downtown core when there's like 25-story towers towering over them with shadows and wind tunnels and all that kind of stuff. So we had actually, put our necks out on the line as far as getting on the front cover of the Toronto Star in 18, just talking about this development. And Kelly, you really took the lead on doing massive delegations at City Hall, because the community at that point in 18 was so fired up about protecting and preserving the heritage and preserving the integrity of the downtown core, because our building is also a heritage building. It was built in 1872, and it was a hardware store. It was part of the radio station as well too, that went from Oakville to Hamilton way back in the day in the 1800s. It was a little candy shop. Like, it has so much beautiful history behind it. And it's just really sad that we're okay with getting rid of heritage, let alone a thriving, beautiful business that employs close to 40 or 50 people, that is also the number one tourist destination in downtown Burlington. So Kelly's Bake Shop at 401 Brant Street gets asked for more than the Royal Botanical Gardens in Burlington, which is such an incredible accomplishment, something to be so honored and so proud of. And at the same time, it's just really sad that it's okay for them to just tear it down. So I want to just also recognize that we're also recording this episode in late May. So the doors have already been closed at 401 Brant Street. So we have this slightly different perspective on all of this that we've been moving through these last 90 days. And yes, when we got this initial news on Monday, March 3rd, it was probably the biggest gut punch I've ever felt in my entire life. I read the first sentence of the email and I actually just collapsed. I was like hyperventilating, just instantly going into fear, saying, how are we going to do this? How in the F are we actually going to make this work? Close down Brant Street, get Oakville to be able to produce. Are we going to be able to produce in Oakville? How are we going to tell the staff? Are we going to keep everyone on? How are we going to survive? How is Kelly's Bake Shop going to come out on the other side of this and move through it? Like, it was an instant, holy shit kind of moment. Yeah, we definitely just came over to your house and just went tobogganing for a couple hours. We were like, we don't even know what else to do with ourselves right now. Like, we just need to release this energy and move through it, because it was an unbelievable thing to experience. And yes, we've known that that the building that housed Kelly's Bake Shop has been owned by a developer for the last 7 or 8 years. But to add to your point, Mom, they said that they had no intention on building at all because it just didn't make financial sense to them. However, now it's our understanding that they have received federal funding to be able to make this whole project work. So
I think provincial and
yeah,
municipal stamp on
funding.
it. None of this happens too without every level of government being acquiescing to it. I think if I just want to add to this is that in Western culture, well, let's call it North America Western culture, not European Western culture. Everybody is just so quick to eradicate history and beautiful things that are heritage, and also to remove community. And I have a big problem with that. And I remember what you were saying when I delegated at City Hall, and it was literally a sold out event, if you want to call it that.
It was
They
wicked.
had the 3 overflow rooms. They said they'd never had this many people attend City Hall to hear anyone talk. And I went, okay, I feel like I'm a rock star right now. Here I am, this little girl, 5'2", and I'm walking in there and my knees are shaking and I'm going, what the hell am I doing? I was I was terrified, but there was no one else speaking up. And if you don't own your truth, and if you don't honor your truth, and if you don't speak your truth, then what's the sense of living? Everyone's afraid of their jobs or afraid of how they're going to get seen or perceived. And I've always said, screw it now. Like life is to live, and I have to live to my authentic core. And this was, in fact, for me to preserve as much heritage and as much community and stop the gentrifying of a beautiful downtown core that people would travel to for hours. Montreal, New York, Oklahoma, Victoria, BC, London, Brantford, Toronto. That was just a given. We had people from Toronto every single day coming to the bake shop because they would come to the bake shop, but they would stroll Brant Street. They would shop, they would go to the waterfront, they would hang out. But the key player was people were coming to stock up on Kelly's treats and then going back home. And everybody won because of it. And we were so happy about that. We were so thrilled that we were able to be this catalyst of connection in this beautiful downtown core. But to see this eradicating of history with absolutely no relevance to these developers, their lives, it doesn't impact them because they either live in Toronto or out of town or whatever. And there's no care and no concern with this is permanent. These changes are permanent. And I just didn't see the downside to that. There was no downside for me delegating, right? So it's either we're going to lose our business or we're going to lose our business, or we're going to lose our community or we're going to lose our community. There was no way that we were really going to, I'm going to say deep down in heart, I knew that it was kind of a waste of time, but before we knew it, we had over close to 8,000 signatures on a petition back then in 2018. And I did have someone, I want to add this. So, because this was a clarity moment for me in 2018, when I had a visit from a prominent person from City Hall come and visit me at the bake shop. And I thought they were there to come and say hi to me because we had a little bit of a relationship from podcasting together, and they patronized our business and that sort of thing. I'm not going to say who they are. Okay, guys, that's why I'm using the word they. And I actually invited them upstairs because they said they wanted to talk about something. I went, okay, great. Let's talk about the future of Burlington. Let's talk about the future of the developments and stuff like that. And I'm all ears to hear, on another level and open to receiving new information, because that's how I roll. I'm not hard fast with how I believe in something. I love to listen to everybody's points of view. And their whole demeanor changed when we got into my office, and it was just the two of us. And they leaned into me and said, you think you know that you're going to be able to change anything. You think that you know what's going on here. And this has already been planned for well over 20 years, and it's time for you to back down. And I could feel this emotion come up through me. And I went, wow, this almost feels like a death threat. Wow, is this what happens when, certain prominent people in the world pay you a visit and they're giving you a threat? I'm like, I guess I've hit the big time. And I realized anyways, in that moment in time, the pure level of corruption and the pure level, the deep level of these things have already been put in place. It's in the legal system. It's in the government system. It's in the political world, the voting system, you name it. These agendas have already been decided. And, I'm not going to say that if money's changed hands or whoever, that's totally irrelevant for how these things and these pieces come into play. There's just decisions made. And I think that developers own cities more than you know. And so that was an eye-opening experience for me. And Burlington right now in this moment in time is experiencing this in the north end of the city, with Millcroft development. And it's deeper and bigger than you could ever think. And I actually just believe that the political game is just lip service to appease us and think that they're doing something for us. And I know that they're doing screw all for us. And so anyways, it's been a journey, right? And we have grown and evolved through this. And I'm grateful for all of my experiences now, for what I've gone through for the last 8 years. And I know you are too, Erinn, that we have grown so much that it's putting on your big girl pants to see life in a whole other way. And it's not just rainbows and unicorns. Life is a tough road to haul, but it's very important to live it as authentically as possible. So I'm glad that you and I went to City Hall and we delegated in 2018. I'm so glad that we did these things, because we get to sleep at night knowing that we've done our best. We did our best to preserve this incredible entity of 401 Brant Street that is now going to turn into affordable multi-purpose rentals subsidized by the government. And this developer would not have built this building if it had not been subsidized. The funny thing is, I'm just going to add this here. Small businesses that get turfed out, yeah, we don't get subsidized, right?
Yeah.
You know, we got to pay our way. That's how it works. So anyways, it's been an incredible experience of
Absolutely.
awakening into the power of our small business is now no longer a small business. We like to call it a company now because that's what it is. Like, because we have evolved and grown into a whole other level of being in business.
So just kind of going back a little bit to 401 Brant Street, because Kelly she went off into another
I went
world
off into
there.
a tangent,
Another
but I'm
world
good at doing
is something that we've really been moving through these last 90 days is, and we've said this a million times now in the last 90 days, is really treating 401 Brant Street as these four walls that have housed the soul of Kelly's Bake Shop, but they are not, like, 401 Brant Street is not Kelly's Bake Shop. We have been the ones that have infused that beautiful building with so much love and joy and connection, and we can bring that energy into any location, any place that we want to in the future. So with that being said, I do want to just say that we are right now actively looking for another place in downtown Burlington, because we know that we have an incredible customer base. We love you guys so much. We're so grateful. We're so blessed to have such an incredible, just an incredible group of thousands and thousands of human beings that just love what we do so much. And we're so honored to do that. So we are looking for a location in downtown Burlington. However, as you can probably imagine, it's proving to be a little bit more challenging than, some people would think, with a lot of the buildings being owned by developers. And also too, we want to make sure that we're being intentional. We want to make sure that we're finding a place that is representative of the energy that we want to have in a location. We really want to have that iconic, incredible presence that 401 Brant Street has had all of these years. So that's something that we're really trying to move through and just plant our feet firmly in the ground. And also at the same time, we do have our spectacular, beautiful, gorgeous, brand new baby in downtown Oakville at 259 Lakeshore Road East in downtown Oakville, basically between Starbucks and Lululemon, right on Lakeshore Road. It's an incredible spot. Come visit us there. You can come and see us in all of our glory there, baking all the same delicious treats that we had on Brant Street as well too. But I did want to just say that 401 Brant was this vessel for us to birth Kelly's Bake Shop and to bring it into the world. And we can create that energy anywhere that we go. And I think that it's a really important distinction, because it's not our business that's going. We're just going to be moving locations. And that's something that I think has really helped us to soften all of this. And we've also really been moving into the energy of just trusting and having so much faith that what is on the other side of this is so much bigger and so much better than we could have ever dreamt possible. Because I have to just say, we've had some crazy things happen for us in these last 90 days. I want to give the example of The Office, Mom. Okay?
Yeah, you got to give that.
So,
we're definitely,
honestly, you guys, we are just having so much fun with this whole experience at this point, because there's been things that have happened and we're like, we literally couldn't have planned this better. So in Oakville right now at our location there, it's a smaller footprint than what Brant Street was. It's about 1,200 square feet plus a basement. And then Burlington was around 2,700 square feet. So about half the size.
Upstairs.
Yeah. And plus an office upstairs we had in Burlington. So Kelly and I, when we got this news, something else that was on our mind is saying, okay, we don't really have an office space in Oakville. Where are we going to go and have meetings and, do podcast recordings, just do work, do all the things that we need to do to run the business. And we're just trying to figure that out and move through that. Again, we really didn't have much of a plan. We were just open to receiving. So at the beginning of April, our landlord in Oakville connected with us, reached out to us and just said,
let's give everyone a point of reference. That's halfway through our 60-day notice, right?
Yes.
So 30 days into having to leave Burlington,
yes,
we get notification from our landlord in Oakville. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we get notification from our landlord, and she said, okay, so there's a law office that's above you guys. And I might just reference that this law office has been there for about 30 years. It's a criminal law office upstairs in Oakville there that's been the tenant on the entire floor, on the second floor. And, they actually they're thinking about downsizing their practice. One of the partners is leaving or transitioning, whatever is happening. And the office space that's directly, like I can't even say it without laughing, the office space that's directly above your location there at 259 Lakeshore Road East has come available. Would you like it as your office space? And we looked at each other and we're like, are you kidding me? Like, are you actually kidding me that this is available for us right now? Like, we couldn't have timed this any better. So obviously we said yes. Obviously it's our new beautiful office space that we've gotten some new floors and new ceiling and paint and all that good stuff in just to freshen it up and make it ours. But like those kind of synchronicities have been happening, you guys, in the last 90 days. And it's to the point where we're just like, we have to just laugh. Like you literally can't make this shit up. And there's some other things that we're working on right now that we can't share that again are just like, what? How is this actually possible? So we're trusting and having so much faith because when we're doing this, we're being given all of these incredible opportunities and these like high frequency, highly aligned opportunities to really lean into. So we trust this is all part of a bigger plan. So don't you worry, guys.
Has been being in the mode of surrendering. And when we really came to grips with, okay, so this 60 days is something that's really going to happen. And it was like this grieving of like the loss of a child or something to me. Like that's what it felt like, that actual like gut punch of my father died 30 years ago and he just died suddenly of a brain aneurysm. And I never got to say goodbye to him or anything. And I actually can equate it to that of just that sudden like loss. You can't really process it. Like there's a PTSD part of it, like, because you're just going through total denial, just thinking he's still going to walk through the door. I still do that 30 years later. I still think one day I can actually see him come through the door here. And like, it's crazy. So this child that we had for 13 years of like daily 24/7 love infused, involved with, like, just built the energy in the place, and it's gone. And so that's been a huge process of letting that go and grieving it. And then also realizing that surrender is when the beautiful things happen, because things happen in life, and life doesn't happen like in a linear fashion. It's like quantum, right? It's just, it grows and it comes from out of left field, as we prove how the office came to us in Oakville, and Oakville was this place that was never that replacement. It was always an intentional second location. Like that was our goal this year. 2025 was about growth and having 2 locations. We were going to 3 by the end of the year. And thank God we had Oakville. If Burlington closed, or when Burlington closed, if we didn't have Oakville set up, we went, what were we going to do? Like, it was so divine, so amazing, a total miracle to have this land in our laps. So yeah, anyways, it's been a total journey. And we do know, and I want to add to you, but the 4 walls is like Kelly's Bake Shop wasn't the 4 walls of Brant Street, as much as everyone wrote love notes on it at the end and all these goodbye messages and everything. And we allowed everyone to use the magic marker, the permanent marker on the inside and outside walls and stuff, just to say their goodbyes. It's a whole entity. It's Kelly's Bake Shop is that movement. It's a massive uprising of love. And, you're never going to be able to cancel that. You can't cancel love.
Absolutely.
So that's how we are feeling right now. And we know that this next location, to come back to downtown Burlington, God willing, if that's what we're meant to do, it's going to show itself, and we're going to go full throttle. Let's go.
And as Michael would say, you can't get rid of us that easy, Burlington.
We got that one.
Oh my gosh. But I also do want to just say that on May 4th, so May 4th, 2025 was our final day at 401 Brant Street. And we think that we saw around 4,000 people come through our doors on that day. It was an unbelievable outpouring of love, support, just incredible human beings that showed up crying, joyful, coming out to support us. Like, it was just such a beautiful day of connection. And then after that day, we had to move out of 401 Brant Street. 5 days of unbelievable energy. It was insane. We had movers come and move our big equipment, from our ovens to our fridges and freezers. We had friends and family come and help out. We had some of our staff volunteer. You guys are freaking amazing. Beyond grateful for all of your love and your support through all of it because it was insane. Like, I actually can't believe that we did it in 60 days. The lift was so intense that we've moved through that I think that we're actually still now coming down off of it 4 weeks after Brant Street has closed, because there was just so much energy and emotion and adrenaline kind of put in behind us to actually process it now is a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, it's almost like the heavy move. It robs you from the grieving process, right?
Yeah.
Because we're so distracted, and then you're tearing it apart. Like, who would have ever thought we were going to be ripping these shelves off the walls and dismantling the tables and moving the ovens out? Like, that was one of the hardest things for me, was seeing the ovens go. Because then I went, oh, this is actually real. Because I really went through 60 days of kind of the denial process, like in and out of that consciousness of denial, and it was really hard to watch that. And then when the three of us, Michael, me and you, we sat out front and just sat on the counters, because then we realized that the stone counters were too heavy. Like, it was the final day, and we went, what the hell? Like, we lifted, we hired a guy to come in and help Michael and another guy. And we went, so these things weigh about 2 tons each. And, at a certain point in time, you can't save everything. We removed the chandeliers in the front, but we left all the boxes behind in the shelves, because those shelves were custom made for 401 Brant Street to fit the boxes. And we went, it's just time to walk from them. And it was hard. It was just so hard. But once you shut the door, and when I locked the door for the final time, because you couldn't put the key in the lock. Sorry. But when I put the lock in the door and closed the back door for the final time, it was just such a big ending. It was the end of that era. It was hard.
The end of an era, but not the end of the story, right?
Yeah.
I think that this is just a chapter in our incredible best-selling novel that we're going to write one day, because holy crap, you guys we don't even share the tip of the iceberg of all of the things that we've moved through these last 15 years. With that, we just wanted to say thank you so much for your love and your support, and for tuning into this episode, for us to share this very vulnerable and very, very intense thing that we've moved through these last 90 days. And we've made it to the other side of it. And we have our beautiful, thriving, gorgeous location in downtown Oakville at 259 Lakeshore Road East in Oakville. So if you're local in the GTA listening to this, please come and see us. Come and hang out with us. You can also order treats too, to be delivered and to also ship nationwide.
With our brand new website that we happen to be working on too for the past year.
Brand new website
too. It was launched early when we locked the doors of Brant Street. So like the next day. And like, again, how are we so divinely supported that conclusion happened then? Like, we still get to reach this 200-kilometer radius that we deliver to. Like, totally. It's wild, everyone is learning though how to work in a very small space, but we're so efficient now, aren't we? Like, it's so efficient.
It's great.
Yeah, but our staff are amazing. I personally want to do the shout out to all of our staff, all of our girls and stuff. Like, you guys are just like amazing. And our neighbors too in Oakville. Like, let's talk about the stores. Everyone who's celebrating us now in downtown Oakville. We are being so well received in the Oakville community, business community. So thank you so much.
It's been awesome. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up everything we wanted to share in this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please, if you feel called to, please subscribe to this podcast, to our beautiful podcast, The Kelly and Erinn Show. Please leave us a review too. We'd be so honored if you left us a review. It helps a podcast like ours that is just in its second episode get some more traction and get kind of ranked a little bit higher in all of the streaming platforms. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you and having you listen to our next episode coming very soon.